Oh, hi. History of Rohingya. In previous generations of Burmese politicians, Prime Minister U Nu and Deputy Prime Minister U Baswe, they're both recorded as using the name of Rohingya to refer to Muslims in Arakan, to refer to a group of Muslims in Arakan. They didn't refer to the Kamu, they didn't refer to the Miadu, they referred to the Rohingya. So this fact is very relevant that the senior Burmese politicians acknowledge the existence of the Rohingya. Also, as previously mentioned, UNU requested a radio broadcast in Rohingya language to be broadcast in Burma. It's also relevant that the Rohingya language was broadcast under the foreign languages section and not the national language section. So that we cannot ignore that. Also, in previous generations, President Sao Swe Taik said, "The Muslims of Arakan are an indigenous race of Burma, and if they are not an indigenous race of Burma, we also are not an indigenous race of Burma." So that information is very relevant. And also, just I wish to say that on the most basic level, the Rohingya have a right to be accepted as an indigenous race of Burma because of the most basic human right which all humans deserve. And that is, if you're born in a country, then you should be accepted there. If you're born there, you should be accepted. And many Rohingya have been born in Burma for many, many generations. So I'll leave that. So that's the bottom line, really. I need to change the subject. Many Rohingya will not like me for saying this, but I thank Dr. A Chan, so thank you, Dr. A Chan. Through studying your papers and studying Dr. Abid Bahar's response to you, and also studying the writing of Dr. Mohammed Siddiqui, the Muslim academic, I've become aware that I now suggest the problem is not who the Rohingya are. I suggest the problem is how the Rohingya behave and what the Rohingya do. I think that's what makes the Rakhine people hate the Rohingya and the Burmese hate the Rohingya. It's what the Rohingya do, it's how they behave. I'm going to read for some notes. So I suggest there are many things which the Rohingya are not acknowledging, and they need to. One of the things is the rapid Islamization which is happening throughout the world, and there is valid fear that Islamic fundamentalism and Islamic terrorism will enter Burma through the Rohingya. Because of the proven connections between some Rohingya groups and Islamic terrorism. Like, it's very relevant that the Kamu, who are descendants of Bangladeshi, they're accepted as Burmese citizens, but the Rohingya are not. So why? So what is it about the Rohingya? Why are the Rohingya singled out? And I think the Rohingya's behaviour is very relevant. And we say in English that your best friend will tell you things which your enemies won't. So as a friend of the Rohingya, I have to say I think you're being very foolish and very naive, and you're not looking at what your community is doing. You're allowing extremism to flourish within your community, and you have to take responsibility for what's happening against your community. Islam is a religion that's spreading across the world at 1.5% annually. As a small example, in India in 1940s, Muslims made up about 10% of the population. Now they make up about 12.5%. So there's been a massive increase. So there is lots. I mean, if you look at the rise of Islamic fundamentalism, the rise of Wahhabism, the Taliban, how the Afghani Muslims treat their women, cover them from head to toe, you can't even see their eyes. Jihad, global jihad, the concept of shriek, the concept of haram. There's many things which the Burmese and the Rakhine community are correct to be afraid of, and I support the fear of Islamic fundamentalism entering Burma, because it is spreading throughout the world. The Wahhabi, the Taliban philosophy is spreading throughout the world. Even where I live in the West, it's spreading very fast. So I support the fear of Islamic terrorism entering Burma through the Rohingya, and I think the Rohingya are allowing it to happen because they're not standing up to extremists within their own community. And a kind person just told me recently that he thinks there'll be a new wave of persecution against the Rohingya in Arakan. And if this happens, I lay some responsibility at the feet of the Rohingya. I don't think the Rohingya are complete victims, as they say that they are. So Rohingya as a friend, I'm suggesting, I'm proposing, I'm inviting. I want to say that I do think the evidence shows that you should be accepted as an indigenous race of Burma, but your behaviour won't allow this to happen. If you look at how the Rohingya are behaving, then you're just inviting more persecution, and you're inviting yourself not to be accepted as an indigenous race of Burma. So I say this as a friend, but Rohingya, please waken up. Please look at what you are doing, and for the sake of your families back home and your next generation, just waken up and stand up to the extremists within your organisation, within your community. Okay, thank you, bye.